Hello there. We're back with the QSP. I had several subscribers request that I continue the sharpening from the soft Arkansas to the hard and to the black. So we're going to do that today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on the stone, find the angle, and hone. Now what I'm doing, I changed the position of the camera because I'm trying to find something, quite frankly, that's more visually appealing. But the problem is in a lot of ways, I tend to sharpen with both hands. So I may go back to the top up view just because I think this hand kind of gets in the way in this position. But we will see. I want to do a video on freehand sharpening where you hold the stone in your hand. When I hold the stone in my hand, I use my one hand, but there's like a counterbalance. When I hone like this, that makes it very easy to do. So you know, I don't have the same issue with that as I do when I have it down on the stone holder for some reason. And today, I wanted to get me some toilet paper to wipe the blade with. Today, I don't know if you can tell, but my hands are not all that great as far as steadiness goes. So there's that in the bargain too. You probably can see the blade of the knife shake quite a bit. That is not good either. I have a subscriber that is one-handed, and he put up a video a while back. I'm subbed to him, so if he's put up more of them and I haven't seen them, please get in touch with me so that I can figure out what's going on. But he put a video up a while back about it, like his first sharpening video, and he's doing really well in that way. But I like the two-handed approach a lot. It's got a lot going for it as far as the feedback you get through your hands. But all I'm doing, look, I'm using a one-handed approach because lovely. Because this is visual and I want you to be able to see what's going on. But the principle applies. It doesn't matter whether you're using one or two. You place the knife on the stone and you find that bevel angle. You can feel it and you can see it. You can set it down here and you see, if you look real close, let me see if this will be easier. there's a dark line under there. Well, when you raise it up, you can tell. See, now that edge is touching. That's the angle that I'm looking for. And so I had a discussion with a friend of mine, and he was like, well, on one of the videos that I did, he said, you basically reprofiled that blade. I believe it was this blade he was talking about, but I can't remember. To fit the way your hand lays. There are people that do that. No, I did not. I laid it down. I found the angle that it was honed at originally, or sharpened at, I should say. This blade was not honed in any way. It was sharpened. The difference is that it was not refined. This is honing, as opposed to the first low grit stones, and even the soft Arkansas, which is more sharpening. Although the soft Arkansas, either you could look at it one of two ways: that it prepares the blade for honing, or that it begins the honing process. I prefer to call it that because a lot of times the most refinement that I ever give a blade is a soft Arkansas. So, but this is honing. The difference in my definition, I don't care what anybody else says. I'm not teaching other people's technique. I'm teaching what I use. Okay? The difference between sharpening and honing is that in sharpening, you're bringing the knife to sharp. You're getting the apex perfect as you can get it, so that you have a very sharp edge. And honing, in my opinion, is refining that edge. And that is, you already have an edge when you actually bring the knife to sharp. This is refining that edge to a certain degree of polish and a certain fineness to the edge and to the cut. That's the difference in my opinion. So but you're just laying it down, finding that angle. One of the things that I will keep saying, because it's really, really important, you see here that I'm not really flying down this stone with a blade. Okay, I'm purposefully laying it onto the stone, finding the bevel angle, and then moving it forward. I'm not trying to fly, and I'm not worried about how much time it takes. There are techniques out there that people use, and they use them because they like them, number one, and because they're in a hurry. They want to get it done really fast. This is not what I prefer on a knife, because this is not just utility sharpening for me. This is a hobby. It's something that I really enjoy. It's fun to hold a knife in my hand and run it back and forth across a stone. So I don't care if it takes me 20 minutes or half an hour or 45 minutes. Matter of fact, what I generally do is do like I did here, break the sharpening up, come to a soft Arkansas finish, and then if I want anything more, and I might come back another time and do it, because that gives me another opportunity to relax and enjoy the sharpening and honing process. So that's screaming good. And I'm going to call that good on that edge. And we're going to move to the black. What we're going to do, don't forget, clean off your stone always. And on these, I don't really crank these down very much. I don't find it really necessary. It's much easier. Now I'm going to go to the burnished side, the highly burnished side of this stone, just because I think that I think that after that soft, I don't really need a lot of aggression on one of these stones. And so we're gonna go for high polish. But I don't really find it necessary to crank down on that. Okay, now if you are the kind of person that picks this up and moves it around, turns it over, all kind of stuff like that, then by all means crank it down where it won't fall out of the holder. I don't do that normally, and so I find that if I just butt this up and just barely tighten them, it works just fine. You need to be really careful with a black Arkansas or a translucent or a true hard or anything. Even that hard that I was just on is hard enough that it will really set your edge back if you get that angle wrong. There is a video that I put up recently, the method I teach and why I teach it, and I know a lot of times people only watch the first few minutes of a sharpening video or any other kind of video here on YouTube. That was this part of the blade scraping against the stone. It wasn't a bad angle. Anyway, a lot of people tend to just watch 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of a sharpening video or some other kind of video on here on YouTube. The angle that you sharpen at, not so much the angle, but the consistency of the angle that you're sharpening at is really important. And in that video I talk about that a bit and how you can kind of diagnose what's going on with an edge, because when you move from different densities of Arkansas stones, different fineness of grit if you're using another type of sharpening stone or whatever, you can run into issues when it comes to sharpening the blade, and I detail a few different problems that you might encounter. When doing that, and ways to figure out or diagnose what it is that's going on the blade, at the apex of the blade, or apex of the edge, or however it is you want to say it. And you do well, if you're a beginner, to watch that video, the rest of that video, so that you can understand what's going on when you run into trouble sharpening. That's lovely. Dude. I am going to call that done. That's a beautifully sharp knife. Here, Joe Pierce. Freak out a little bit. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later.